Oh yeah, Taco Bell tastings, the new sub account from Taco Bell Sommelier. Welcome back to Rewind with bschwitty, because yo quiero Taco Bell. Today, I'm super excited because I get to pair two of my favorite things, Taco Bell and wine. And I get to also interview someone that's killing it on Instagram as @Taco Bell Sommelier. We're going to be talking to Tarun Sinha. I wanted to ask, because I love Taco Bell, I love wine. I've done a lot of crazy pairings on this channel over the years, and I never, in my wildest dreams or, simplest moments, never thought to be like, I should drink wine with Taco Bell. How did you get that started?
It kind of started by accident, actually, back in, I believe it was 2015. I was visiting my brother up in Pittsburgh, and we used to live together when he was living in Richmond, Virginia. And when we lived together, it would be very typical of us to do a late night Taco Bell run. So when I was visiting him, we were like, everyone in the house, my parents, his wife, my sister-in-law, they all went to sleep. So we were just up chatting, getting kind of hungry. So we did it was like 11 or midnight. We did a Taco Bell run, thinking that when we get back, we could just hang out. We had some cold beers in the fridge and just talk and chill. We picked up Taco Bell, and these were back in the day when they had grillers. So they had a ghost pepper griller and a habanero griller. So we got some really spicy food because we're going to have in our heads Yingling, Coors Light, something just to mellow it all out. We get back home, and when we open the fridge, we realize there's no more beer left. No more beer in the house, the garage, anywhere.
Oh,
but
wow.
what we did have was a nice Riesling sitting in the fridge. So we said, why not? It's alcohol. Let's give it a shot. So we had that, and we were just sitting at the table. We were a couple of grillers in, and my brother and I, we looked at the table, and we just thought it was hilarious, the juxtaposition of a Riesling and a wine glass and our Taco Bell hot sauce packets and our grillers and burritos. So I just took a picture of it that night. Posted on Instagram, and my friends thought it was the funniest thing ever. So it just kind of snowballed from there. I mean, my friends loved it, so I just started doing more and more and more, and eventually it turned into the account that is today.
Nice. And when we were talking on Instagram, you mentioned that one of your thoughts behind Taco Bell Sommelier is that you wanted to make an account that's approachable for everyone, and to make wine approachable for everyone, which is something that I do on this channel, or at least that's one of my reasons for doing it. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, no, definitely. As I started this wine journey, because initially I didn't really dive into wines. I was more like a beer or a spirits person, because wine to me was a little intimidating because I wasn't sure of what variety to get, what type to get. Should it be chilled, warm, served when, served with what? So it's I'm just not going to touch it. But then as I just started having more wine, just with friends, at my family's house with my brother, and I started, enjoying it and trying it with more and more foods. And then I just kind of realized that, I don't need to follow any guidelines to have a delicious meal. I do kind of pick wines that I like, and I have it with the Taco Bell that I like, and I'm perfectly satisfied with the meal. It's enjoyable, but every time I see in the media, they just kind of put wine on this pedestal. It's you're not treating it right, it needs to be eaten this way, this way, this way. But as I started talking to more sommeliers or wine experts on Instagram, they're all just super friendly and welcoming, and kind of everyone had the same message. Is just drink wines that you like, pair it with foods that you want. They have some guidelines you can use as a reference. By no means does anyone ever need to follow it. Right. So it's kind of do everything by personal choice. So since then, I just kind of been pairing Taco Bell with all the wines I like, and most of them have been successful. And through that, I've been learning about more types of wines and different types of wine. So it's been like a huge learning experience. And I hope people see this account and kind of start their own journey too of, experimenting or trying some sort of new beverage. And, you may not like it, you may love it. If you love it, you'll learn more about it, and it's super tasty and you'll probably enjoy it.
That's awesome. That's a great story. I love hearing when people get to experience wine like that in a way that it's not judgmental and it's not like, oh, I had the Cabernet Sauvignon from 1978 the other night.
And it's super subjective too. I was like, you could have really high quality food or wine. You might like it great, but my taste buds may not. So, I feel like it's, the whole, like, I'm not sure why the media makes wine so snobby, but it's totally not whatsoever.
Yeah, that's really cool. So I would be remiss to do a whole episode interviewing you without asking first, doing some Taco Bell pairings while we do it. So we have some items from Taco Bell, and you want to run us through a tasting?
Yeah, I believe the first one, we have like a Crunchwrap. I think I got a grilled chicken Crunchwrap. One thing you need to do is when you get a Crunchwrap, the beef and beans are great, but get the grilled chicken because it adds like this char smoky aspect to it, which is absolutely irresistible.
I didn't think to hack my Taco Bell experience. I'll have to do that next time.
Pairing this with a Cremant, which is pretty much a champagne, just made in Burgundy and not Champagne, France.
And you mentioned your friend who's taking the WSET 2 or 3 recommended it to you?
Yeah. I forget which, at what stage she's in, but her name is Reshma, and she's Gola by the Glass on Instagram. And I talked to her last week, and she kind of actually recommended the Cremant wine. I had never heard of it, but I absolutely loved it, and I enjoy it. And now I frequently just buy bottles of it.
Fortunately, I only have French champagne, and I think it's on the brut side, but
I love this pairing because it's bubbly, a little acidic, and it just like overall it's just really refreshing because the Crunchwrap itself can be a little overwhelming with textures and flavors. You got sour cream and cheese and a crunchy tortilla, lettuce, tomatoes, and then the grilled smoky chicken. So the Cremant just really balances everything out. And then the bubbles, who doesn't like a bubbly drink? So.
All right. Yeah, that's really fun. It kind of, the effervescence really plays off of the grilled tortilla on mine. The freshness of the tomatoes and lettuce, which, let's be honest, it's Taco Bell, so it might not be the freshest, but it kind of, relative to what else is in the Crunchwrap, does really play off of that in a fun way. You just get a sprinkle of freshness. I'm going to keep asking you some questions here. So you mentioned your friends going into WSET. What is you touched on it a little bit earlier, but what is your background with wine?
Pretty novice at this point. I thoroughly enjoy wine, and, I've definitely taken the time to, I definitely enjoy going to vineyards and learning about the winemaking process, and have visited a bunch in, Virginia and Maryland, even Colorado and in California.
Oh.
And I just absolutely love the vibe and the ambiance of these vineyards. So I just kind of been learning as I've been going along with this Instagram. So when I started, it was pretty elementary. I had Pinot Grigio, I had Chardonnay sometimes, maybe a Malbec, but that was kind of my range. Now I've been definitely experimenting more with not that rosé is anything new, but to me it's new. Nice. And I really enjoy it. And the Cremant's delicious. And we're getting some richer Malbecs, which I love. And Syrah is another wine I was introduced to that I love. So I just been kind of expanding my portfolio of wines that I've been trying and the ones I've been liking. So, not an expert by any means, but at this point, I think I know what I like for sure.
That's fantastic. That's again, love it. Love every bit of that. Just someone that's interested in wine and looking to expand their knowledge whenever they get the chance. So I asked about your wine background. What is your Taco Bell background?
Yeah, well, the Taco Bell history literally starts when I was in the womb, because my mom has been eating Taco Bell like ever since she came to this country. So my dad came in the early to mid 70s, and he enjoyed Taco Bell, but he was a Burger King, Taco Bell, McDonald's guy because coming from a different country, money is tight, so you can go to those types of places to eat. And then when my mom came, she's vegetarian, and then for fast food, there really weren't many actually no. In 1980, there was zero options for vegetarian fast food, except for Taco Bell. They had the bean burrito, so that was kind of the only thing that she ate. She ate that and the tostada, and Taco Bell just made it super easy to customize anything to be for vegetarian. So that's kind of where she went all the time. Like that was the spot to go. And then when I was born, growing up, we'd go to Taco Bell pretty often because as a family, we'd go there. And I enjoyed it. My brother enjoyed it. My dad enjoyed it. My mom could get her, vegetarian dishes. Because even in the early 90s, fast food vegetarian options were pretty rare. So Taco Bell was just kind of the place to go for us. Even though I eat meat and my brother and my dad do too, but that's the thing with Taco Bell is like so easy to customize all the dishes. We could all kind of get what we wanted.
Yeah.
So literally awesome. since I've been born, I've been, have been Taco Bell.
What is your go-to order?
So that's changed over the years because at first it was the Mexican pizza. That was my thing. That was my comfort food. That was my go-to item. Even though it was a bit pricey at like $3.50, I just wanted to ball out at Taco Bell. I get the Mexican pizza. And I'd always feel good afterwards. Close second is definitely the cheesy bean and rice burrito, but that actually has moved up to number one because the Mexican pizza has been discontinued.
Ooh,
so
that's right.
The cheesy, So the cheesy bean and rice burrito is it's a super simple item. It's on their dollar menu. It's literally just rice, cheese, and beans, but get it with black beans and get it grilled, and it just elevates it to another level. It's the best $1.05 or $6 or $7 wherever you live, but it's the best dollar and change you'll spend for a meal.
Awesome. Wow. So, that's making me hungry again. So maybe we should try our second pairing.
Yeah. So the next menu item I love is the cheesy Gordita Crunch.
Cheesy Gordita Crunches are my personal favorite. I live in the city that bought so many of them when they were off menu that they brought it back nationwide.
Oh, really? Thank you for doing that. You really brought so much pleasure to the entire country.
It's one of our claims to fame. I really enjoyed when they had it back before they discontinued the Doritos Locos Cool Ranch shell. Subbing that in, that made my optimal cheesy Gordita Crunch.
It's a genius idea.
Mine is very sad. They squished the Gordita as they were doing the heating of the cheese, so it's a very sad Gordita Crunch today. But
just because you got the fluffy, doughy Gordita, that is the perfect vessel for a crunchy taco. And I get these with black beans because it adds another level of earthiness and adds another umami profile to it. And then we're gonna pair this with a Malbec. So the Malbec I like because it definitely complements the cheesy Gordita Crunch because the Malbec is something that's not going to be lost with the intense flavors of the cheesy Gordita Crunch because that dish can be a little overwhelming because you have a lot of textures, a lot of flavors going into it, especially if you add hot sauces.
What is your go-to hot sauce?
It's a mix of the hot and Diablo. And to quickly tell you why, the Diablo has all the heat but no flavor. So it's like vinegar and peppers, which, great for hot sauce. And then the hot itself doesn't have much heat, but it just has that nostalgic Taco Bell hot sauce packet flavor. So mix the two, you get the best of both worlds.
Oh, wow. I just go for the hot these days. Unless I have Diablo on hand, it's if you read the ingredients, it's a cleaner hot sauce. All right, pairing 2.
I feel like having a light body wine can totally get lost in it. So that's why I like the Malbec, because it's like really bold and it really carries its own weight, and it definitely harmonizes well with like the richness and the darker tones of the meal.
Nice.
It's like a great entree.
That's wow. I didn't expect. Whoa. All right. So my favorite thing about doing pairings is that when the wine and the food transforms to make something even more incredible than what the two items are by themselves. I had a Malbec from Castoro 2015 Reserve, and together you mentioned black beans earlier. Even though I don't have those in mine, it's like it hit very like it came beany. Not in a bad way. It transformed the wine. The notes of the wine kind of just evolved with the Baja sauce. Is it Baja sauce? Baja sauce, and the hot sauce and the meat flavoring. And whoa, that was awesome.
Has all the components of the food pyramid.
I heard it was a ladder now. I'm not sure.
Yeah, oh, maybe. It has all the nutrients you need in a day.
So where do you get the ideas for your pairings? I think you said trial and error, but if you have any more ideas, or do you see a wine that you like and think I'm going to have to try that with something?
No, it doesn't really matter. It just comes down to what you like to drink and what you like to eat. And that's what's going to make your day better. So that's what you just go with. So that's what I've kind of learned over the years in terms of pairing is I know what I like at Taco Bell. I know what I like in wine, and I've kind of expanded my horizons of what I like in wine. And it's just been fantastic ever since.
Like you said earlier, you have like a friend that recommends Cremant to you, and you're like, oh yeah, that would probably go well with the Crunchwrap Supreme, and I think that's one of the coolest ways to do pairings, and you could become your own court of Taco Bell sommeliers, in the future.
Taco Bell or nacho fries are available year round in the UK, which I think I learned from you on your Instagram. Mm-hmm. Have you had any international Taco Bell items?
Just once. I went to India in December of 2019 for a wedding, and I was staying at my cousin's house, and they live maybe 20 minutes away from Taco Bell, a Taco Bell in India. And I had read how India is kind of Taco Bell's next big market. Pre-pandemic, they had planned to open, I think, 600 Taco Bell locations, because I feel like the spices, I guess, in Mexican cuisine, if you can call it Mexican cuisine, overlaps pretty well with Indian cuisine in terms of chili, like the chilies that are being used, chili powders, cumin, coriander, even turmeric in some cases. So I just feel like there's a good overlap. So the palate in India is kind of accustomed to those spices. So Taco Bell would work really well there. And when I went, everything was fantastic. Nice. The first thing was that they had a lot more vegetarian options. I eat meat, but the vegetarian options were just a little irresistible, because they had like fajita vegetable tacos with cumin and spices. And they had paneer tacos, which is it's kind of like similar to a halloumi. It's almost like a grilled halloumi type of texture. And then you just add and that tikka masala sauce that you find in like traditional chicken tikka dishes. So it's like tomato and cream and spice and citrus and onion and coriander and cumin, just a harmony of ridiculous spices all in this one sauce. And I was able to try a variety of Taco Bell India items. And one of my favorite things was, well, at least in India, they still have the naked chicken chalupa, which is just a fried chicken shell that's stuffed with vegetables. And in India, they had like a corn, tomato, onion mixed with lettuce and the chicken tikka sauce to go over it. It was to die for, absolutely phenomenal. And then I paired it with a red wine from India. There's a vineyard called Sula Vineyards, which I think, the best of my knowledge, one of India's largest wine producers. So it's, widely available all over the cities. I don't know which style of wine it was. I don't recall, but I do remember it was a red wine, and it just paired so well with the naked chicken chalupa from India. Nice. I wish I could have that every day, but unfortunately the US doesn't play around with their flavors that much as India does. So hoping to go back there and even try dishes from other countries.
Yeah, that'd be cool. International Taco Bell Sommelier hosts and pairings.
Yep. And getting the chance to try local wines from wherever I go. Because like India has their own, vineyards and wine producers, which was new to me. But then I know like there's Taco Bell in Spain, which probably has, obviously they have a delicious assortment of wines. But I think their menu items are also a little bit more catered to the cuisine there, which I'm very fascinated about. So the goal is to just travel to other countries, and if I have time, well, next year I'm gonna make it a priority to go to other Taco Bells in different countries and have local wines from there and see how they taste.
That's brilliant. I guess we should do this last pairing with a limited time item.
Yeah, we're gonna do the Taco Bell nacho fries. They're still on the menu, so if you're on the fence about getting them, you should go to Taco Bell as soon as possible because they may pull them off the menu any second. That's how they
work. Yeah.
But I am going to be pairing it with one of my favorite companies or vineyards producers, Apothic. This is an Apothic dark. So it definitely has a darker nose in terms of fruits, raspberries, blackberries, hints of chocolate, coffee. It sounds like a dessert wine, but it's not. But I think this is the first time I'm actually doing this pairing. I usually go with Apothic Red, Crush, or Inferno. The Inferno is their red wine that is aged in whiskey barrels. So I love it. I know people are on polar opposite ends if wine should be aged in whiskey barrels. Mm-hmm. I have zero formal opinion on that. I just know that this one tastes great, so I like it.
It definitely adds an interesting element to it.
Yeah. So, and these nacho fries, basic fries, fried, nice and crunchy, but Taco Bell adds their nacho fry seasoning, which I haven't fully reverse engineered, but I know it has lots of paprika, chili powder, probably salt, pepper, maybe garlic salt, and something that kind of adds a little touch of citrus to it. So I'm just going to try it with the wine.
I got a red Bordeaux blend from Castoro Cellars because I wasn't able to get to the store to buy an Apothic. Must be some sort of, it's Due Mila Undici. I don't speak Latin, so I don't know what that means. But you said the dark was going to be a hearty red blend, so I went with the heartier red blend. That's fair. What do you think? What do you think?
Surprisingly delicious. The spice from the nacho fries and the oils and the fry texture is very rich, and I think it's beautifully complemented by the notes of chocolate and coffee and darker fruits. It's not as sweet as I thought it was going to be, so it just kind of perfectly harmonizes with the spicier, earthier notes and textures of the fries.
All right. Yes, I'm willing to bet that mine tastes a little bit better with the nacho cheese, because I wasn't expecting it to be as dry of a red as it was. So it was a little overly tannic when I did the non-cheese pairing, but with the cheese, it kind of helps smooth out those tannins. I think it worked better with the nacho cheese and the nacho fries on my end. How about you?
So I did it by itself first, just because I want to just kind of taste the nacho fry on its own. I know when you add the nacho cheese, it really changes the entire profile of the dish, because the nacho cheese is a very upfront, not only flavor, but a very prominent texture as well.
All right, shall we do the nacho cheese then?
Oh yeah, and just really, really dip it in there too.
Yeah, and mine, whereas it's very tannic from the cab and the Merlot, and it's more dark chocolate than milk chocolate, I would say. So it's like 80 or 90% cacao. You know, it's just like eating bark. So it definitely helped with the cheese to kind of the heartiness of the cheese, kind of, since there wasn't as much fruitiness to my wine. I think it really played well with the nacho cheese.
I actually preferred it without the nacho cheese, because exactly you're saying that the texture of the nacho cheese is so thick. I just feel like it just completely just sucks up all the flavor, overpowers everything in the bite, and just really kind of overtakes any of the subtle notes of flavor in the wine and the nacho fries. So me personally, I'll do the nacho fries and the wine without the cheese, but I still do love the cheese. It's delicious, but may not go that well with the wine.
And that just goes to show you how two similar wines could be completely different on the same pairing, which I think is absolutely one of the fun things about pairing wines and trial and error when pairing.
Yeah, and which is one reason I kind of like continuing my account, because going into trying out new wines, it was intimidating because I'll taste it, I may or may not like it, but I have my own idea of what it tastes like. It's super subjective, and then I know it's, for some people it can be a little burst your bubble if you read the bottle and you're like, I didn't try any of these things, like I must not know what wine is. But I've just learned, at the end of the day, you should just eat what you like to eat, drink what you like to drink. You're going to be happy. That's the way to go. And don't put too much pressure on yourself into trying to master how to properly taste a wine. I think with any food or any drink, you can take a sip of it right away, and in the first second, you will know if you like it or not. And I think that's what you should just go with. Absolutely.
That's such a great message and idea for your Instagram account. Can you tell the people at home again where to find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. The handle is Taco Bell Sommelier, and sommelier is a tricky word to spell. So I'm going to spell it out for you right now. So Taco Bell, easy to spell. And then sommelier is Sommelier. I think. I'm 98% sure that's how you spell it.
That sounds correct, as at one point in my life, I was a level 1 sommelier. So I think that's how it's spelled. So check out Tarun on Instagram at Taco Bell Sommelier for all your Taco Bell and wine pairing needs. On top of just having fun on that account, it's very beautifully photographed. So definitely give him a follow, give him a like, tell him what Taco Bell pairings you're going to try in the future. And, also leave that in the comments below. You can find me on Instagram at Rewind Show, on Twitter at bschwitty, and please come back to the YouTube through rewindshow.com. And like, share, comment, and subscribe. And hit the little bell to get notified when new episodes come out. Thank you again so much to the Taco Bell Sommelier. Thanks for coming on, Tarun.
No, pleasure's all mine. Hope you enjoyed these pairings. And I hope you, after we finish this interview, you just continue to eat more Taco Bell and drink wine.
Oh yeah, I'm going to indulge much more in the pairings and the Taco Bell once I exit this call. So this has been Rewind. My name is bschwitty, and I will catch you next time.